And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour weekly get-together. Hold on, my dog's in the room. Yeah, doggy, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. Come here. You want to see, everybody saw you before. You got to see your doggy. That's my man. Say hi, everybody. Now you got to go. Come on. Come on. Get out. All right, sorry. All right, doggy in the room. We got to clean him out. Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys have had a good week. It's Thursday night, September the 18th, in the year of our good Lord 2025, and welcome to another edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, where you get your biggest news from around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. Guys, I hope you had a good week. It's been an okay one for me. A little, not a lot of activity at work, so it's a little boring. Just trying to get through the days. I don't know. I wanted to, let's see. We missed a bunch of things along the way, so I want to wish my parents a happy anniversary. That was last week. Let's see. I feel like okay, and I do want to talk a little bit about, before Jeff gets on, I do want to talk a little bit about Charlie Kirk, the passing of, and it's not passing, his murder, his assassination. I know I wouldn't call myself the most religious guy in the whole world, but I do believe there's something out there. I don't know how it works. I don't know. I just have a belief, and that's all it is. That's my belief. Doesn't mean everybody else has to have it. But when a man is killed because of his beliefs, and his beliefs are that you should be able to sit down and talk and reason and explain how you feel and listen to somebody else's feel, and you don't have to walk away agreeing. Nobody's ever going to say you have to walk away having been changed your mind. But we have to just, as long as those beliefs are not hurting anybody, costing people money out of their pockets, I should not have to pay for your beliefs. You shouldn't have to pay for mine. And nobody should murder somebody in cold blood because of the way they feel and your disagreement with it. Charlie Kirk was a brilliant, absolutely brilliant man. If you watch his videos, his personality, his steadfast belief in what he believed in, could not be shaken. And the fact that some moron, left, right, or whatever, and by all means, folks, he's on the left, and that, it almost doesn't matter, but it does, because that's where the violence is coming from. But Charlie Kirk had the right to say what he was saying, and I respect the fact that he would stand up there for hours in front of a hostile crowd, people who, a lot of which didn't like him, despised him, hated him. For no reason other than they didn't agree with his what he said, and got murdered for it. We've come a long way, and for the left and the people who espouse to believe that they are not the Nazis, they are the barons of free speech. I would tell you they are not. That is one of the biggest knocks I have for people who are quote unquote Democrats or liberals or on the left, is that you can't have a conversation because everything is, they don't want to talk about it, and they just want to call you a Nazi or a fascist, and you're a detriment to democracy, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. We watched for the last week all these vigils around the world throughout this country in Charlie's name. And there wasn't rioting, and there wasn't looting. There wasn't people being killed or beaten. Just people got together, prayed, had beautiful words for themselves and for Charlie and his family and for us as a nation. And I was talking to a friend today, just before the show, about what's going on. And supposedly there was a another governor threatened by a moron. And my response to him was, you know, we don't realize it, but one of these days somebody is going to get killed on, let's call it the right. I'm not saying it's the right side, it's just the right, the left, whatever you want to call it. One of these days somebody's going to get killed or hurt, and it's going to trigger a civil war. You know, the left, and I'm sorry, you know, you just don't see enough. You don't see enough. I'm sorry, that's not the right way. You don't see people from the right hunting down and killing people that they don't agree with. I haven't seen it. Most of these people, I mean, there's been a rash of transgender people killing people, and we can get into all those things, and we're not going to. But let me take down the banner. But at the end of the day, it does seem to be a rash of people who have left leaning, Democratic leaning, liberal leaning beliefs that are the ones who are intolerant enough to just go out and cold blooded murder somebody. So my hope is that we don't get there. But if you're asking me, I think this country is headed for a civil war. Somebody's going to get hurt, somebody's going to get killed, and it will trigger all the people with the guns to start shooting people. And I hope that never happens. I hope the people on the right continue their peaceful vigils, protests, and their patriotic ways, and don't fall into the trap, because that's what they want. The left, the dark web, silent majority, not even silent majority, the uncontrolled minority want us to be in a civil war. They want us to fight. They want us to kill each other. And I hope it doesn't get to that. So I would tell you, but I do believe that there could be that powder keg, and it's close. I watch some of these people on TV, and they're starting to get to the point where it's getting angry. And I hope that I think there's a lot of things that could set it off. This moron Zoran Mondani, or whatever you want to call him, that could be a powder keg that sets off people in New York. Now, again, New York is more left, so it's probably not going to happen. It's probably the worst thing that can happen to people in the Democratic Party is having him the face of New York City, and it going really bad before the midterms and before the next presidential election. But like I said, I just hope that there is not a shooting, a killing, something bad. And I tell you what, if another one of those school shootings happen, like it did a few weeks ago, where this transgender person, and by the way, that's died out quickly in the news. If that were to happen, like right now, I would be afraid that could set off a huge problem. And nobody wants that. So let's just hope that things calm down. We should remember Charlie Kirk for the great man he was. Probably is still, I would say, still is. I hope that his message and his ministries, Turning Point USA, continues to do great work. Give a voice for all, especially these young kids who are almost shamed for being conservative. I hope that they continue their work and his work. I hope they still go to the colleges. It's going to be very hard to replace Charlie Kirk on those campuses. I don't know how you do it. I don't know who does it. His personality, his charisma, his intelligence, his recall of scripture and events was amazing, and he'll be hard to replace. But I hope they keep that alive and moving. I think it's a great thing for this country, and I hope that there's some sort of event, non-lethal event, that brings us all together. Maybe it's 250 years next year. Maybe it's the Olympics. I don't know. We need an event to bring us together. We don't need another 9/11, but we need an event of that magnitude, of some magnitude, to bring this country together. and forget that there's left and right. And one last thing, and I want Jeff just popped up, so I want to get on. But this whole Jimmy Kimmel thing, Jimmy Kimmel wasn't fired because of something he said. First of all, Jimmy Kimmel's not funny. His rant wasn't funny. It was a lie. Jimmy Kimmel was let go because he has no ratings. Jimmy Kimmel was let go because he said something that was untrue, that was going to piss off a lot of people who don't live in New York and California. And the TV stations that covered him, over 265 ABC channels all around the country, a lot of them are in places where people didn't like it. And that's the problem with Jimmy Kimmel and Howard Stern and the media in general. And if you watch a lot of these shows this week, they try to skirt the issue. Just give us the facts. You don't have to put your spin on it. You just got to give us the facts in the news. And I watched the guy this week come out and say, "Oh, it was a kind of a touching love story." This guy was kind of defending. There's no touching love story. A deranged lunatic who loved furry meme porn, for some reason decided that he was almighty and wanted to climb up on a building and shoot a married father of two, 31 years old, through the neck and kill him because he didn't agree with his beliefs or thought process. And that is not, I don't care for what reason he decided to do that. And the funny part was, he was afraid of being shot by the police and had to be coaxed into giving himself up. And his demand was that he would be treated nicely, and he was afraid of being shot. I can only hope, and this is, I'm going to end it right here, and we're going to get on to our show. I can only hope that they take this guy on live TV, stick him in the middle of town, point a bunch of guns at him, and shoot him without a blindfold. And I want the world to see, and all the rest of the crazies to see, that if you do this to somebody, this will happen to you. And Utah has the death penalty, and they do have it by firing squad. So, I doubt they'll publicize it and put it on TV, but that would be my hope. Put him on TV and let them see how he cowers and cries and he falls apart. Because this is a guy who's a big, tough guy shooting an unarmed man from 200 yards away and was scared to death to be shot by the cops. So, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Please watch the vigil on Sunday. I will be watching it amongst my football stuff. I think it's a powerful moment, and I think Charlie Kirk was a guy that you could put in the category of this a generational speaker for a movement. You don't want to put him in Martin Luther King's category. I can semi-understand it. But conservatives, especially in college, have been pushed aside and punished for their beliefs. And Charlie Kirk was the guy who stepped up and said, "Hey, it's okay. You're allowed." All right, so let's get to the show. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Thank you for listening to my little bit of rant there. We got a lot to talk about this evening. We got football, Giants 0-2, but different ends. We'll go through the NFL. Let's see. Arch Manning gets booed. The Mets are in a bit of a free fall and are struggling to get to the playoffs. Week 2 of the NFL. Let's see. Colorado's 1-2. Thank God. We'll talk about a certain team led by a certain ex-Giant who's 2-0. We'll talk about Aaron Judge and his. We'll talk about Aaron Judge and his shot at the third MVP. We'll talk about how commonplace it has become to kick 60-yard field goals. Yeah, Frank. But there's a certain Danny Dimes who is tearing it up right now and beat a certain. Oh, you're talking about fantasy? Yes, my fantasy team is. He beat a certain Colorado team this past weekend to give me great glee. So we'll talk about 60-yard field goals, and of course, if you didn't pay attention to Facebook yesterday, Jeff and I went to go see a certain movie, and we will give our review of that as soon as I get him on. So we're going to get the show kicked off. He said he was going to be a couple minutes late. He just showed up. Let me get him on. And there's no better way to start the Hard Rock and Sports Show than by bringing on my partner in crime, Mr. Jeff. Blackest Sabbath. Tell him. What's up, man?
What's up? Your fantasy team sucks and the Giants suck.
Is that
I wanted to get that out of the way right away.
You're getting that right out of the way?
Yeah, I'm not done.
Go ahead.
I'm not done. The Mets suck. Just want to let you know that they suck.
The Mets suck?
I'm looking now to see if the Denver Broncos suck.
Yeah, I would say the Denver Broncos suck.
No. They're mediocre at best.
They got beat by Danny Dimes. Couldn't have happened.
That's all right. Listen, these guys leave New York and all of a sudden they fucking become superstars.
That's very true.
Daniel Jones is on pace for like 14 miles in yardage. Sam Darnold went out someplace and became an unbelievable football player. Geno Smith left New York, played for both New York teams.
Yeah.
Is going to go in the Hall of Fame before he retires. Adam Rodgers is a Billy. You jealous? You got to polish that Berlinetta, man. Ask Billy about his Berlinetta.
His Berlinetta?
Yeah, ask him. Go ahead, ask him.
Billy, how's your Berlinetta, Billy? He's making me say it. So, Billy and I, we chat every so often about politics. We get a kick out of torturing certain people. And
listen, you know what? I don't take it as you guys are torturing him as much as it is that I think he grovels at home on the floor and like he pays people to kick him and spin on him because he loves it. It's attention and he's getting it. And you guys are like Billy Graz kills him, and he showed me some of the things that he does. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He has ammo loaded. He's got several different guns of different calibers loaded. I get a kick. I go through it every time I see Billy pop up and he's torturing him. I can read that shit all day because he just bombs him with facts. And this gentleman goes, I don't want to talk to you. You're he gets all like, I'm taking my ball. I'm going home. Like it is the best thing ever. And every once in a while, I got to chime in. I chimed in today. I didn't want to, but I kind of felt like I had to. So I don't get involved with the talk of politics at all. I stay as far away from it as possible. But with him, I sometimes I sit and I read the stuff, and it's like he's a human punching bag with that stuff. He posts stuff that's like right on the borderline that he's expecting people to answer, but they have to answer a certain way. If they don't turn around and answer the way that he wants, he bugs out and he starts, going off. He's already, the battles between him and Billy are
legendary. Oh my God. I can't tell you how many times I've texted Billy. It's awesome. But see, my problem with a guy like that is he's doing it to just incite, not a conversation, but incite, FUs. He doesn't want to have a conversation. He just wants to come on and say, the president's a jerk off. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a baby. His posts make no sense. Most of them are made up, fabricated half-truths. I have no respect for him because of that. Like, to me, you want to have a conversation. You want to say, hey, I disagree with this, but I kind of agree with what he did. That guy is.
He can't. He just can't. He's incapable.
Right. So to me, if you come out and say, "Hey, Trump's policy on Israel is terrible," but I have to admit his what he's done on the border has been great. I can respect that. Say, you know what, I disagree with you, but you're right. He hasn't handled this great. I'm with you on that. But that's a guy who can't do it. He drinks the partisan Kool-Aid, and no matter what happens, he can only give you the one sliver of, he said that 3 million people got killed last year. It was only 300,000. All right, he misspoke. All right, no, what's the big deal? Nobody exaggerates a little bit. That's what bothers me. That's the stuff that bothers me.
Well, listen, you know what? I don't even know exactly what you're talking about, nor do I really care.
No,
but when it comes to the president of the United States,
no matter who it is, they shouldn't be exaggerating. They should be pretty well within the ballpark if they're giving out numbers and facts. But once again, it is what it is.
Yeah, and that's just the nature of TV today. That's the problem. It's just all TV.
He
yep,
our common friend,
yep,
has a different kind of mindset. I don't think he's within today's mindset.
No,
on his side of the street.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's still a few years behind. He hasn't caught up to where they are yet.
Yeah,
and I don't think he sees it that way. I really don't.
No, he doesn't. He's fully bought in, and that's why I have no respect for him. Now, has it changed my opinion of him? It absolutely has. It has absolutely changed my opinion because I can't respect you. Either stay out of it or call balls and strikes. That's all I say all the time. Just call balls and strikes. If you see something good, say it. If you see something bad, say it. And I'm with you. And that's on both sides. There's a lot of I love most things that the MAGA Republicans like, and there's some stuff I really don't like, and that's fine. As far as the Democrats go, there's very little I like, very little, if anything. But if I see something, I'd be happy to agree. Hey, I agree with that, or I disagree. That's the kind of people I respect in politics. Stay out of it, or just call balls and strikes. But when you're partisan one way or the other, I got no respect for you. That's just my thing.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, you have to, like you said, you have to keep an open mind because regardless of what you say and think, regardless of what he says and thinks, the answer is going to be closer to the middle than it is on either end.
Probably right.
And until people start looking at the middle of the street and just give a little bit, they're never going to get away.
Yeah, and I'm just not to believe, but he came on today and he was yelling and screaming. He was yelling about Jimmy Kimmel being fired, and I said, you know what? Okay, you know what? Where were you when Roseanne Barr got fired for speaking her mind? If you're going to yell and scream about that, then yell and scream about Jimmy Kimmel. So that's the kind of stuff that just annoys me. But anyway, let's move on.
I know, but listen, here's the thing. Yeah. Neither one of them is a news source. One is a comedian, the other one's a late night TV show host.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden they're referring to as a journalist.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything serious that he's journaled.
Well, he's.
And I've never seen anything serious that Roseanne Barr. Well, actually, I don't like Roseanne Barr from when the first show.
I agree with you. I was never a fan, and I'm not a fan of hers now. But I think she's a nut. But I disagree with her being fired from her own show for speaking her mind. She spoke her mind. She said something.
I got to be honest with you, man. I think it's great. That now way we don't have to look at her on TV. She should have been fired 35, 40 years ago.
Oh, listen, I agree with you. I didn't like her show back in the day. I had no respect for her. I thought she was a piece of shit. And yes, Joe.
Well, a lot of people, the same people that are always sticking up for her, like after she got fired, totally forget when she butchered the fucking Star.
Oh, yeah.
So her behavior, has been on display for many, many years.
Oh, yeah. I was no fan of her then, and I'm not a fan of her now. I just think that if you're going to yell and scream now about Jimmy Kimmel, where were you when she got fired? Or like Joe Cloak says, when Tucker Carlson got fired. So, I mean, the fake moral outrage about Jimmy Kimmel, who was horrendous and had no ratings. He got fired. We talk about this in sports all the time. If you're a great pass rusher, okay, like Greg Hardy was, right? He nearly choked his girlfriend to death. They caught him with drugs and guns, and he still had a job. If Greg Hardy was me as a defensive lineman, he would have been fired. The problem is, right. So if Jimmy Kimmel had great ratings, Jimmy Kimmel would have a show going on tonight. He doesn't have great ratings. This was a reason for them to fire him, and they weren't going to stick up for a guy who basically was costing them millions of dollars. So same thing for Stephen Colbert. So,
and not for nothing, they've been trying to get away, it seems, from the late night TV. A couple different hosts.
Yes, because it's become so partisan. Because it becomes so partisan. What happens is these guys have taken this anti-Trump stance, and everything is a negative. Johnny Carson and Jay Leno used to do political humor, but they would make fun of both sides, and you kind of tuned in and you laughed about it. These guys just basically get on there and say Trump is deranged and he's a fascist and a Nazi, and anybody who listens to them are fascists and Nazis. And you go, all right, I'm not going to listen. So half the country stopped listening. The other half of the country only partially listened, so nobody listens. So now you've just
turned around, told all these affiliates and sponsors, by the way, I've wrecked your ability to sell products and merchandise and make money because of my partisan politics. And to me, that's why Jimmy Kimmel got fired. Simple and plain and simple.
We won't have to hear him anymore. That's all.
Yeah, thank God. And that's the fake moral outrage that our friend exhibited today bothered me. About all the behind the scene people got fired. No. Blame Jimmy Kimmel. Don't blame anybody else. Don't blame anybody else but Jimmy Kimmel. But let's get to the show. We got a lot to talk about. We had a great evening last night. Went to see a classic. We'll get to that in a little bit. We got a lot of football and some baseball to talk about, and we'll kick it. Let's talk a little Jets and Giants to kick the show off. We'll get right into the feel of it. Jeff, new football season, same old Jets and Giants.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't know which one is worse at this point in time. They took turns.
So I think the Giants have at least been competitive. Okay, the Jets had a little bit of hope in the first game. Now maybe the opponent, maybe the Steelers were a little overrated, and the Jets being competitive with them was one thing. But what I saw from the Jets this weekend was abysmal. They didn't even. I mean, the penalties, the dumb plays, the lack of execution, and what I didn't like, Jeff. And I don't know if you, and I'm sure you didn't watch any of the of Aaron Glenn's post game remarks. But they were asking, it was kind of Bill Belichick-ish. They asked him, what do you think the problem was with the defensive line this week? And his answer was, I got to look at the tape. All right, but the secondary gave up a bunch of big plays. Do you think it was an execution problem? I got to go look at the tape. I told him.
I heard it on the radio.
Oh, and
I was going to band practice, and let me tell you something. You see, here's the problem. Aaron Glenn is not Bill Belichick. Okay.
Right. No, I understood. It was Bill Belichick the way he said it. Yeah.
It's going to take a lot more than for him to say about looking at the tape.
Mm-hmm.
But before any of that, please, you're a first year coach. You got a bad team. Your team didn't get any better. You did what you had to do to get a quarterback and put him on the field. Maybe you would have been better off just going with Tyrod Taylor instead of getting Justin Fields. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I know this much. I'm beginning to think and strongly think that, and I'm telling you, and I've said it before, and I mean it, this franchise is cursed and will be cursed until the day that Joe Namath dies. Once Joe Namath dies, the curse will be broken. The Jets will win 10 Super Bowls in a row. They will set all kinds of records, offensive and defensive records. There'll be a team that'll be a juggernaut that people will want to build their franchises after. Women will be naming their fucking husbands after these fucking coaches and players. They're going to be such household names. It's the only thing that makes sense. This is a team that's so bad. They can't get out of their own way. They really can't.
No, I agree. And, what I wanted.
Carolina, I am right. Joe Namath sold his soul to the fucking devil, man, to get that fucking Super Bowl III. They were 18-point underdogs, and they fucking beat the Colts, man.
Yes. They had no business winning that game, and they did it. Maybe you're right. Maybe we got to take Joe Namath.
I'm right.
We got to take Joe Namath to the top of a mountain and sacrifice him to the Lord.
It's not a volcano deep enough to throw him in, man.
Well, I just listen. I don't like the way they played this week. I think they're a better team. I think there's more talent there. Defensively, offensively, I'm still not sold. They have enough depth at the receiving core. I don't believe the offensive line is going to be ready this year. I think there's a lot of talent there that maybe a couple of years from now it'll gel. And I don't think they have a quarterback. I've never been a Justin Fields fan.
This is what the Jets need to do to win. Okay. They need to score 3 times in a row. First 3 drives of the game, they need to score 3 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns and a field goal minimum. Okay, they can't go 3 field goals. They can't. They need 2 touchdown minimum, better 3. This here way, they have a 17 to 21 point lead or 18-point lead, and then assuming they get the extra points, and then they're up by 21. It is the only way. Then this here way they can lay back and run the ball. They cannot ask Justin Fields to throw the ball. it is virtually fucking possible.
Yeah, I would agree.
Throw the ball. If they get him a lead and they could run the ball and he don't have to throw it all, then they stand a better than average chance, I think. But as soon as they have to start throwing the ball, they're done. Absolutely.
Yeah, done. Again, I'm not disagreeing. I think this coaching staff's going to need some time to figure out who they are, what this team is, or what their plan's going to be. I thought it was going to be a smash mouth, run the football, or die trying, and it hasn't been. They've been throwing the ball out, and I get it. They want to get Garrett Wilson involved. The problem is they're not built that way, and I think it's a lot easier with the talent that they have to run block than it is to pass block. And this week was atrocious, and I really wanted Aaron Glenn to just go out and say, "Hey, we were terrible, and every which way. We got to be better. I'm throwing the game tape out. I could care less what happened. We're going to come back next week with a brand new attitude." And I loved his first game of the season. The kid Gibson fumbles a kickoff. He gets cut. That's I think it's overdone a little bit. The guy didn't have a. The Giants had a meltdown. The guy should have been let go at halftime. But I like the attitude. But then you can't come up at the end of a really bad game and go, well, I got to look at the tape and figure out what happened. Yeah, I know what happened. You got crushed. You're a terrible team. You had a terrible scheme.
Listen, go back to that first week. You said something about Gibson. Okay. Yeah. We keep one thing in mind. All right. Twice Aaron Glenn said, let's go for 2. Twice. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. They went for 2. They didn't make either one.
Yep.
And then what they end up losing, I'm going to look now. I think they ended up losing by
1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you doing? They lost by 2.
Yeah.
That game would have been 34-34 if they had gone after the extra points and just picked the extra points.
And the problem is he's following that same lead that he got from Dan Campbell about gambling and go. You don't have that team. And they shouldn't even. They missed the Super Bowl appearance because of that. So you should learn better.
Yeah, but here's the difference. That was a good team.
I agree with you.
That was a good team. You can't turn around and be the Jets and try to sell everybody else that you're a good team. What happens next? You got 4 and 8 on your 15-yard line, and you're going to go for it in the second quarter because you're down by 3, and now you fuck yourself. You can't play that kind of football. You can't. You got to be smart. You can't. I work, so I didn't see the whole thing. But when you miss 2-point conversions, I understand maybe you're like, well, we missed the first one. There's no way we're going to miss the second one. The law of average says that we're going to fucking get it.
Right.
I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, there was a point in one of the games. I'm trying to find it. And
Joe Cloak, no, we don't need Jameis Winston, man. Justin Fields is capable of throwing as many interceptions as need be. We don't need Jameis Winston for that.
Yeah, there was. I'll get to. Listen, I disagree with a lot of the way the game is played now and coached now. And there was a point in one of the games. I'm trying to find it. I think it might have been the Giant game or a different. Maybe it's a different game.
I will say this much too. There's a lot of teams this year so far has started off very disappointing for a lot of different teams.
Yes, we'll run through that, but yes, you're right.
It just isn't, and they want to add another fucking preseason, another season game.
Yeah.
Regular season game, man. Wow. I think 16 was perfect, and they should have left it as is.
Yeah.
Everybody's up in arms and can't figure out when they're going to start playing. Well, we're not going to play him. Well, we got to play him. This guy's going to play 3 quarters through every game, but this guy's not going to play at all.
Yeah.
Because he's been in the league for 7 years, so we don't need to play him. It's just total bullshit.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So I agree with you that there's too much of this going for 2s and going for it. There was a thing in the paper. I wish I meant to cut it out. And I didn't do it. I forgot. But they were questioning the coach why he didn't go for it 3rd and 1 from his own 28-yard line in the first half of a football game. And I said, "What? That has got to be the dumbest question I've ever heard." And the guy took it as a serious question. And I bring it up because in the Giant game, the Giants wound up losing by 3 points. So, but they wound up tied and going to overtime. But Dable in the first half had a spot was 4th and 3 from like the 5-yard line, and instead of kicking the field goal, taking the 3 points. He went for it and didn't get it. And those 3 points, to me, could have been the difference in the game. I don't know. It's hard to tell you, but when you tie at half, when you're tied at the end of regulation, and you forego and you gave away 3 points, I got to go. There was a chance you could have won the game. So I think it's too easy for coaches nowadays to not punt, to not play possession football. Nobody wants to give away the football. Everybody wants to try to score as many points as they can instead of stopping the other guy from scoring points. I mean, to me, I could score 3 points in a game and win if I stop you from scoring.
Well, yeah, of course. But, everybody has to win the game immediately. They can't. It's a 60-minute contest. Say whatever you want about it. It's a 60-minute game.
Yes.
You don't have to win 3 minutes into the game.
Right.
And then coast the other 47. You should be playing hard for 60 minutes.
I couldn't agree with you more, but the problem is, and to your point exactly, is you have to coach the game to win it in the fourth quarter. Now, you can win the game in the first quarter. The game feels like it's over, and I've seen enough games to see that. But, you can go, all right, let's pen them in, play defense, and keep them on their end of the field. There is a way to win the game by playing defense and playing smart football that's gone out the window. And there's too many guys who, now, I mean, we're going to talk about it in a minute, but, the Cowboys had to go 20 yards to get to midfield so their kicker can make a 70-yard field goal. I mean, it was 65 or 66 yards. But, the days of having to get to the 35-yard line of the other team are over. All you got to do is get to midfield. I can't believe these guys are kicking 65-yarders. This guy kicked 170 yards in the game. I mean, it's just, I don't know when it happened.
It was a 70-yarder he kicked?
I think it was, it might have been a preseason game. But the guy kicked a 70-yarder. And, somebody actually talked about outlawing kicking. Like, they're saying that it's become too easy. I saw another thing. I thought it was the best thing. Take the goalposts and make them narrower. Like, don't, you can't eliminate kicks, but make it harder. So now if you're kicking from 70 yards, let's narrow the goalposts and make it harder to kick.
How about this? Let's leave the game the fuck alone. All right? The game has been fine. It's been great. So the people are training. People are getting better. People are getting stronger. Okay? That's why somebody that 10 years ago, maybe their career long was 45 to 50 yards. Now see people's career long is 60 plus. So your kicker is better than my kicker. You know what? I shouldn't turn around and say, let's outlaw kicking and just every touchdown is 7 points. That's it. So in other words, the only way you can win is to go for touchdowns. That's it. Might as well do away with the 2-point conversion too, because how are you going to factor that in if you're going to do away with kicking?
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of, we both are, of keeping the game the way it is and just letting it play out. But I just think that teams don't play. And Frank, you're 100% right, Frank. From a different time when we played and the way we thought and the way we think. That's why I say all the time. My wife said, you should get into coaching. I said, I can't coach nowadays. I couldn't. My mindset is wrong. Like, I couldn't coach this way. People would burn me at the stake because I would be too conservative. Like, I would actually punt and play defense.
Conservative or smart? Isn't football like a chess game? I mean, isn't that the whole point of it? You have 4 tries to move the ball 10 yards unless you score. Okay? You have to be creative because on the 4th try, if you don't get it, most of the times people punt the ball away. Very rarely do they go unless they're down, and they got to get an onside kick or, they're trying to ice the game or whatever the case is that maybe make you go on 4th and whatever. So by 4th down, you're kicking the ball anyway. And I mean, this is the way the game has been played. It's the way it was designed. Yeah. The game has changed because other people couldn't beat the person that was playing the game the way it was designed. So now they had to come up with something different. So now they come up with something different. And lo and behold, people complain about that.
Yeah.
You don't have a quarterback. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, by the way, if you don't have at least 2 good wide receivers, I don't know what to tell you. And if you don't have a tight end, then your rookie quarterback isn't going to be able to do anything for 2 or 3 years. You better have a running back too. Like, so how about just getting the best team that you could possibly field? You know, regardless, don't go by what you're doing. I don't like what you're doing. You know why? Because I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to do what I want to do because
I agree. But you know, the problem is that
coaches.
Everybody's cookie cutter now. Now, you know, everybody wants to play the game. And I get it. Football is.
How come Bill Belichick had such fucking great success for 20 fucking years?
That's a great question.
What is it that he did? Tell me that Bill Belichick changed with the times. And we both know that he didn't.
No, but he was the last of the Mohicans. You know,
but he also was the one that kept winning year after year after year.
Correct. And I would tell you the other guy, and even he's gone to the fringe a little bit more, is Andy Reid. Andy Reid used to be the same as Belichick, or a lot, just a lot like him. Now he's turned to that fringe. And all these other guys that are coming out now are all these hot shot offensive and defensive coordinators, and they coach this game to, you know, you might as well tell your punter to stay in the hotel and order room service because they ain't going to punt. I mean, I literally saw an article where they were talking about how on 3rd and 1 in the first half of a football game, the team was going to go for it, and they were being questioned about why they chose to punt. 3rd and 1 from your own 28 in a game you're barely losing, and you want to not punt, go for it, and give them a field goal automatically. That's a mindset I can't wrap my head around. That's the problem.
You know what? Let's investigate that for a minute. It's 3rd and 1. You don't get it. Now it's 4th down. It's 4th and 1. Is this what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
and now you're thinking that you're going to go for it. The ball's on your 28-yard line.
Somebody asked, why didn't you go? I'm sorry, I said 3rd and 1. I meant 4th and 1. They were asking, why didn't you go for it on 4th and 1 from your own 28-yard line?
Oh, well, then that unless the clock is running out, it's the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to go for it, because if you punt the ball, your defense couldn't hold anything all day long, and their offense have been walking all over you. So you need to do what you got to do. Your offense has been pretty good. More than half the time you've been moving the ball. You may not have scored that much, but you move the ball. So I would say, yeah, a 4th and 1, if it's the 4th quarter and it's past the halfway point and I'm down by, say, 3, I got a big decision. I'm having a major powwow on the sideline with everybody, because what do? Do I go for 1 yard? And if I miss, I'm fucked.
No, listen, there is always an opportunity late. You know, listen, you're down 2 scores. There's 5 minutes left in the game. You got a 4th and 1. You're running in the field. You're going for it because you need 2 possessions, and you got to keep moving. You can't afford to punt.
I know, but suppose it's in that gray time zone, Tom.
Well, that's the question of the day, right?
So you got 9 minutes left in the game, okay? Not much time, but still plenty of time where if you get the ball back, if you stop them, you're getting the ball back twice. No?
Yeah, I would tell you if it's more than 5 or 6 minutes, I'm going to punt. If I got 3 timeouts, the 2-minute warning, you know, I'm going to punt. If it's 5 or 6 minutes and less, now I'm going to think about going for it because I need 2 possessions. Now it's, you know, so that's up to you. Now, if it's 1-score game, different story. It all depends. The problem is nowadays there is no what is the situation. Now it's basically we're going to go for it because we don't want to punt and give them the ball back because we can't stop them on defense. And that's the problem with the NFL today is they've made it so easy for the offenses that you can't punt and play defense because you're not allowed. I mean, I watched a Giant game. There was 5 or 6 or 7 pass interference. But it's almost like if you throw the ball, either the guy's going to catch it or it's a pass interference penalty. So why not just go for it? Just throw the ball up in the air, and eventually somebody will throw a flag for somebody breathing on somebody. It does take the air out of the game a little bit.
It does, but you know what? When you have as much money on the field as the NFL does on any given game,
yep.
All right. When you think of how much the offense is getting and how much the defense is getting, and these people, you know, you want this to be as unobstructed as possible. You want the play. You don't want no questions asked about the play after the fact, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I agree with you. You know, there was I can't remember the 4 instance, but there was an interference call over the weekend. The guy's hands were on him a little bit. Right. And they called him for pass interference.
Yes.
And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Like that doesn't even count. The ball wasn't even there yet. And his hands had nothing to do with the other guy not catching the ball.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the whole I breathed on him, so let me get hit with a fucking penalty. It does happen, and it happens too often.
Yeah. Again, I think when the referees are the major focal point of the game, that's when, the Giants had accepted, I think it was 14 penalties for 160 yards this week. Now, a lot of them were self-inflicted, so I won't complain. There was a lot of phantom calls, and that's bad coaching. When you almost win a team game on the road like they did, and you lost for a good reason because you had 14 penalties accepted. That's not counting the ones that weren't accepted. 14 accepted on one play, Jeff. The Giants had 3 penalties on one play.
You got to be fucking kidding me.
No. Luckily for them, the Cowboys had a penalty, so they all offset. I think it was a holding penalty, an offside penalty, and if I'm not mistaken, it was an offensive pass interference penalty.
See, now, in my eyes, something like that, three penalties on one play. Actually, if you're saying there was 4 penalties, 3 by one team, 1 by the other,
correct. 4 penalties on one game.
They should have turned around and said, okay, whatever it is, if the Cowboys got a 5-yard penalty, it'll negate the Giants' 5-yard penalty. If the Cowboys got a 10-yard penalty, it'll negate the Giants' 10-yard penalty. If it was unsportsmanlike or roughing whatever, then it would cancel out the 15-yard penalty. But there's no way that 3 penalties on one call, that there's no way that should have been dismissed.
I agree with you, but that's the rule. So if this
I hear you. They got to play. They're playing within the rules. It's not like they made them up when they were.
The bigger problem was that your team, and you've had 3 penalties on one play. They had the first drive of the game. They had one player who had 4 penalties on his own, and
on one play?
No. In one drive.
Oh, one drive. Okay.
So on one drive, one player got 4 penalties and gave up a sack. I mean, that's a bad game. I mean, that's a bad game, let alone bad first drive.
Oh, that's the kind of guy that should be. That's the one that should get caught on a Monday morning.
That's the guy I was talking about. So to me, he lost his mind, and he just no matter what happened, the Giants completed a pass down to the 2-yard line. Wan'Dale Robinson get down to the 2. This guy got a 15-yard penalty for driving another player's head into the ground. They had to back up. They wound up only 3 points instead of scoring a touchdown. To me, why he didn't get pulled after that, they actually left him in for another series or 2, and then they pulled him out of the game. To me, it would have been take off your stuff, go in the locker room, take a shower, go to the hotel, and take a flight home because you're done. Like, to me, there's no excuse, but that's a problem with coaching today, is that you kowtow to the players because you're afraid of offending the rest of the locker room. To me, I would respect the coach more if he did that, because he'd be saying, hey, you're not putting yourself above the team. And that's the problem. But the coaching today is a nightmare.
See, that's part of the problem. Worrying about what everybody's going to say after the fact, what happens after the fact.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. They're not. It's Moneyball. It's Moneyball. They already won, Tom. They already won. They got paid. They don't care about anything pertaining to the Super Bowl, anything of that nature. They just don't give a fuck, man. They don't care.
No, I'm with you. I would agree with you, and it's frustrating because I love to watch the game, but I also I'll always be this. Yeah, I'll always be this way, and Frank Jeffrey, I think, is that way. When I watch the game, I watch it through the eyes of like I'm coaching, and I can't help myself. My wife said all the time, you're not coaching this game, and I know that, but I'm sitting going, all right, it's 3rd and 1. I would do this, and then I'm going to punt, and I'm going to pen them in, and then you go, what the hell are they doing? It's frustrating because you see situations in the game that are going to affect the end of the game somehow. And I'll take it back to, again, the Lions and the Niners in the championship game a couple of years ago, where I'm going, all right, you got a punt here, You got to kick the field goal here. And you're like, what's he going? He's going. He's got to kick it. It's very frustrating, and you almost don't want to watch. But you know that it's never going to change because they're all in this new mindset. And there's no Bill Belichick's left in the league to tell you, I won for 28 years because I followed the textbook of how to run a football game.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that book is in a different library nowadays.
Yes, and we'll talk a little bit.
I hear you and I understand what you're saying, but it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, we got a little off track. I mean, listen, I think both teams have a ton of issues. I didn't expect. I told you before the season, I want to see the Giants win 6 or 7 games, but I want to see them be competitive. Like, I don't want to look up and they're getting blown out 41-0 and they're getting blown out, 35-3. Like, I can't see that again. I mean, that gets your coach fired. If you go out there and you can win a handful of games and you're competitive, that's the start you need to have with this new, let's call it new team that they've built. So far, okay, I'm not thrilled. They lost 2 games. They should have won this one. They may have been able to win the first one. But, okay, I'm going to choose it. Sunday night's a big game for the Giants, Jeff. They're 0-2. They're facing a very surprising 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs team. Now, the Chiefs have faced 2 good teams, but they have looked like a team that's old and not properly stocked for the quarterback they have.
Yeah, it's amazing. This was a Chiefs team at one point in time that was so good. You kind of figured, like, are they going to go undefeated for the season?
Yeah.
And now you're going to, all right, 0-2. When was the last time was Patrick Mahomes ever 0-2
no.
In his career? Was he ever on a team, including his first year? Were they ever 0-2?
Well, the last time the Chiefs were 0-2 was 2014, which is 3 or 4 years before Mahomes.
Yeah, there was some bad Chiefs team back then.
Yes, that's the second year of Andy Reid in Kansas City. But since Mahomes has showed up, they're a great team.
Tom, carry the thing that's lunch is making an appearance.
Right, Frank. I never said they should have won. All I'm saying, they could have won those games, but they're not there yet. So okay, no problem. All I said was, give me it. All I want the Giants to be this year is competitive. Be in the games. Yes, it'd be nice to win 5, 6, 7 of them, and be competitive. Just don't get blown out. Don't look like you don't belong. Now, defensively, they don't look like they belong right now. They can't stop anybody. No, they should have won that game. They were the better team for most of that game. They were the better team. They were better than the Cowboys. I'm sorry. I watched the entire game. They were better than the Cowboys. They made too many mistakes, and then they couldn't stop the Cowboys when they had to, especially on that last drive. Cowboys deserved to win. They won the game. The Giants should have won that game. The Giants were the better team for most of that football game. I don't know if you watched it. I watched every play. Yeah, they should have beat them. Yeah, they should have. They missed a field goal. And the same as the Giants. They should not have committed a penalty to give them 15 yards to allow them to score a 60-yard, would have been 40-something yard field goal at that point. So, but, at this point, the Giants have fulfilled my wish. I want to see 5 or 6, 7. I want to see 6 or 7 wins, but at least they're competitive. On the other side, the Jets are not. They played well in the first game. I'm questioning now whether Pittsburgh's any good or not. And they played the class of their division, and they look like that. They basically look like a bad college team that was poorly coached, poor personnel, and a quarterback who I have knocked this over. It's a guy who's on his 4th team in 4 years for a reason. There's a reason why Pittsburgh, who didn't have a quarterback, didn't try to keep him. This is a guy who failed in Chicago. They've been through a ton of quarterbacks. This is a guy who just can't play quarterback in the NFL. Maybe he could play running back in the NFL. I don't know. He's not an NFL quarterback from the truest sense. So the Jets, to me, have been disappointing. I thought the Jets would be a better team in that division. I think right now New England's a better team than the Jets. I think we're already New England is a better team. Now, let's see how it plays out the next few weeks. But, at the end of the day, the Jets have a long way to go, and they are nowhere near at in the competition with the better teams in their division or in their conference. So we'll see what happens. Again, we're Hard Rocket Sports. Jeff's on the other side taking care of some business. I'm Tom, and we appreciate you guys being with us. We got Dolphins tonight, Bills from down in Miami. So, Frank will tell you, we talk about it all the time, the Dolphins are in trouble. That is a franchise that is in desperate need of an overhaul. I don't know much about the general manager. The coach has to go. He's lost the team. Tyreek Hill needs to get traded. He needs to get out of there. They need a change in quarterback. I'm not blaming Tua. I just don't think that he's got the confidence of the locker room. I don't think he's got the confidence of the coaching staff. For temporary, I would go with Quinn Ewers. I like Ewers. I don't think he's going to be a great quarterback in this league. I think he's a step above Colt McCoy and probably a step below, the average quarterback. But I think Quinn Ewers is a better quarterback right now, physically, than Tua is. And I'm not blaming Tua for all their troubles, but I think the Dolphins are a team, Jeff, that needs to be blown up. New coach, trade Tyreek Hill, release or trade Tua to a different team. I think the Dolphins are a team that needs a desperate injection. They need a Belichick type or a John Gruden type. Vrabel would have been perfect. They don't need another young assistant coach. They need a veteran guy who's done it, a Jim Harbaugh type guy.
I think that they're fine just the way they are. I think they should ride Tyreek Hill till he retires. I think they should keep Tua and keep him in the game no matter what, no matter how many headshots he gets. I think their coach is fantastic, and I like the projected win total for this team, which is about 3. And over the next 2 or 3 years, I think that's great. I think they should leave it just as is. There's a little cushion. As long as there's a team worse than the Jets, it's good for them.
Well, I tell you, they are it. If you wanted to pick,
I don't know. Is Frank Jeffrey still listening? By the way,
I don't know. He was here a minute ago. There's still a lot of people listening, so he might still.
I know it's been like 60 years since they had that undefeated season. He's holding on to that because that's all they got.
Well, listen, you're still holding on to a 60-year-old Super Bowl trophy, so
listen, that is all that they have. Right. That is all that they have. But when and I don't turn around and say, the Jets, the winner is Super Bowl 3. I tell you year after year after year that they suck. When you and Frank and Matt each say that the Jets, they're going to be a good team this year. And I tell all three of you, you're on fucking crack and eating too many aspirins. I don't know what it is. You got the fucking air conditioner on too high. You live on the top floor of your building. It's too high for you. I don't know. They suck. All they ever had was Super Bowl 3. That's it. And I'll be the first one to tell you they suck.
Listen, I did not expect big things from the Jets this year. I thought they had a chance to finish second or third in their division.
Yeah, as long as everybody else loses all their games.
But I do believe that New England is a better team than them right now. They have a better quarterback. They have a better coach. It remains to be seen if Aaron Glenn will be able to.
Tyson has a better quarterback than the Jets do.
That is very true. I won't argue with you. I will not argue with you.
Let me give you here's a scenario for you. Let's say that fucking Tyrod Taylor comes in this week, right, and goes 28 to 35 for 325, 3 touchdowns, and the Jets win by fucking 10 points. Okay, but now the next year for week 4, here comes Justin Fields. He's ready to go. What do you do?
Well, that's a good question. If I'm Aaron Glenn, I'm playing the guy who's winning football games and making me look like making my offense run the way it's supposed to run. So I'm going with Tyrod Taylor. But we also know that most places, teams don't want a guy to lose his job because of injury. So Justin Fields out with a concussion right now. Doesn't mean he'll be back next week. It could be a couple weeks. Who knows? And if Tyrod Taylor goes out there and listen, it's going to be the same thing like the Giants were last week. Wilson's done. He's finished with Dart. We got to see Dart. Wilson goes out there, throws for 300 and something yards, 4 touchdowns, whatever it was. All right, now that all went away. Nobody was asking for Jackson Dart this week. The same thing happened. Not this week. Now again, so then it goes out there, shit to bed. They'll be begging for him. They'll be begging for Dart again.
That's all right, because I'm sure that Wilson is going to go 2 or 28 for 36 yards and 4 interceptions before the season's over.
Listen, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be inconsistent. It would not shock me if this Sunday night he went, 15 for 35 for 108 and 3 interceptions. It would not shock me. It would not shock me if he had, 15 for 20 for 350 and 4 touchdowns again. It would not shock me. He could do anything either week. It would never surprise me. There will be no consistency, but it will none of it will surprise me at all.
Is Dable here next year?
I don't know, Jeff. I honestly think the answer is yes. But again, where does the season go? Does it ride out the way it is now, where maybe they win 4 games and they're competitive all year? Then I would say, yeah, I think they have to show improvement. So far, I don't know. I have not seen improvement yet. They've played better. They've been in the games, but it's the first 2 games of the year, and everybody sucks right now. Even the teams that are winning games aren't killing it. So
no, it is bad.
Yeah, again, when you treat the preseason, when you treat the first 4 weeks of the NFL season as the preseason, that's what's going to happen to you. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of bad football, a lot of guys getting hurt, a lot of penalties, a lot of dumb plays, a lot of dumb decisions because nobody coached in the preseason, nobody played in the preseason. So that's the problem that you're stuck with right now, is that that's what you're dealing with. So to me, do I think Dable's back next year? I really don't know. Honestly, truly, I hope so, because that means they've had a decent season and we've seen improvement. That's all that means. So to me, I'm hoping for improvement, a few wins, and a brighter future for the team. Will I get that? We're going to find out. I think Sunday's a big game for the Giants.
I think every game from here on in is a big game.
No, but again, most people came out and said the Giants are going to be 0-6. They'll get lucky to beat the Saints. They'll be 1-6. But again, you can lose to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a desperate team. Desperate. The Chiefs do not want to start 0-3. That would be like, holy cow.
I think that the Chiefs are more desperate than the Giants at this point.
I agree, 100%. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes will be throwing the kitchen sink at the Giants. I don't believe in the conspiracies, but it would not surprise me if the Giants didn't get a single call in this game Sunday night. But forget about that. The Giants need to be competitive this Sunday. They never play well on Sunday nights. They usually don't play well against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are desperate. This is one of those games where you can easily be halftime and it's 33-5. They got a safety on a bad snap in the end zone. Like, nothing would surprise me in this game. The Giants need to be in this game late in the fourth quarter with a chance to win, and you can almost chalk it up as a win. Almost. They can win this game. It's a big part. It's a big thing for the season. That's all I'm going to say. I don't see them winning it, but because I think the Chiefs will they will pull out every trick in the book to win this game. And the problem is the best player on the field is still the guy playing quarterback for the Chiefs. So, yeah. So I don't see it. But I just don't get blown out. I can't turn on another Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night game, and the Giants are out of it in the first quarter. I just can't see it. It'll kill me. So if you don't want me to be nasty next Thursday night, please, dear God in heaven, just give me a good Sunday night football game this week. So it's 8:00. We got about an hour left, and I do want to get as much time in as I can for our big movie review. So if you don't want to know the details of the movie, tune out. I'm sorry, because we're going to talk about Spinal Tap. The End Continues, and I want to give you my complete, unadulterated review. Jeff and I agreed to not talk about the movie after we hung out for 40 minutes afterwards, just shooting the shit, and we did not talk about the movie at all.
No, we did not.
So I am very curious to see what Jeff's thought process of the movie is. So if you don't want to know anything about the movie, tune out. But we're going to go now and kind of break it down for you. So, Jeff, do you want to go first?
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead, because I may I have some stuff to say, man.
Okay, so here I'm gonna try to break it down as fast as I can.
Take your time.
If you are a fan of the movie Spinal Tap, if you're nostalgic, please go see the movie. It is definitely it's definitely a well done movie. There's a lot of cameos. There are some funny scenes and some funny lines. It's nowhere near as obviously as good as this is definitely another one where definitely not nearly as good as the original. It doesn't even come close to the original. The plot should have been better. Jeff, here's my negativity on the plot. Okay, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me. So when I went into the movie theater, I already knew that Ian Fate's daughter inherits a contract for Spinal Tap that's got one more show to play on it. Right?
What was with the headphones she was wearing?
Same thing. I'm thinking the fucking same exact thing. So, okay. So Marty DeBerge, played by Rob Reiner, interviews her, and she says, yeah, I realized that I had the one more concert, and I wanted to honor my dad, and the band. So they explain that the band hasn't spoken in 15 years. They have not played together. They have not seen each other. They don't know anything about each other for the last 15 years. So I expected the next scene to be Marty DeBerge or somebody going around the country trying to convince these guys to get in the same room and play. Well, the next thing I know, they go out and they go to where each one of those guys are working and they have a conversation. But there's no conversation on, well, why aren't you talking? Will you play? I'm never going to play with him. I'm never going to do it. There's none of that. The next thing you know, they're in New Orleans, living in the same house together, getting ready for a show 2 weeks later. And I was very disappointed by that. Like, if they didn't like each other and they didn't want to play together and never see each other, how did they get convinced to do this? There was none of that. Now, I can only figure it was a bonus scene taken out somewhere that explained all of that. So that was my first part that I didn't like. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I there was a couple things that I did not like. There was a lot of that I didn't like, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I felt as though that the plot was weak.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
If you have a band of people, Tony Gunn, does it go to 11? It's Spinal Tap. How dare you even ask that?
Yes. No matter what, I would tell you that the best part of the movie is the end of the movie. Would you agree?
No.
From the concert forward, you didn't think it was the best part of the movie?
No.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. All right,
no. I don't think there was the best part of the movie, to be honest with you. I think that it was like, to me, this was like if there was a sitcom on TV and then it went off the air for a couple of years and they brought it back and there was a couple new people and then they just like it all of a sudden became corny. Like that's to me what happened. I feel as though that the break in friendship between St. Hubbins and Nigel definitely should have. We shouldn't have been led to believe that that's the way it was.
Correct.
David St. Hubbins was ripping on Nigel. Nigel was taking it. Nigel was the one the last time they got mad and threw the guitar down and stormed off.
But you knew why, though. Like, you knew why.
I know. There was nothing.
Right.
For 15 years, there should have been. And then when all of a sudden David St. Hubbins said, "You fucked my wife."
Yeah.
Well, where did that come from?
Well, so if the character is correct, why when they said to Nigel, "Why haven't you spoken?" and he said, "Oh, there's issues," and he had no idea there was an issue. Like, he didn't know what the issue was. Like, there was no confrontation, there was no argument, there were no. I thought, much like you, the plot was weak. Now, I could have dealt with a weak plot if there were funny moments. Like, they go around and they go around to find the guys, and they each working different places. Like Harry Shearer's or Derek Small's working in a glue shop was retarded. It was completely retarded.
That was the cheese shop was retarded, but
that was completely retarded.
More believable than him working in a glue shop. Like, it was like a direct ripoff.
But they were trying to be Nigel with the bread. You know, that was that whole. You know, they were trying to recreate things
they were trying to force funny moments that just weren't funny.
There was no Hello Cleveland.
No, there was no.
There was no. This is Cindy's first mustache.
Yes.
There was no cucumber wrapped in tinfoil.
Correct.
The Stonehenge. Okay, so Stonehenge. Fuck it. Stonehenge fell on these people. I'm stuck. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
And even that, like the Stonehenge should have fell on the drummer.
Well, no. I'll tell you exactly what should have happened. The drummer should have turned around. That girl should have came, played. She should have knocked the audition out of the park, and then she should have turned around and said, "I want to tell you who I am." And when they say, "Well, who are you?" and then he should have turned around and said, "I'm Mick Shrimpton's illegitimate daughter."
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The point about the drum set for the people that were Joe Stumpy Peeps and everything else was kind of a nice touch.
I thought that was a good touch.
But
yes.
If you want to really knock it out of the park, let her have all the nostalgia about the old drummers, and then after they get it, she says, I was destined for this. You know why? I am Mick Shrimpton's daughter.
Yes, Eric Stumpy. Well, it should have been Stumpy Pete because that's two of the guys. She had the green drums and the roses.
Yeah, but he was like, that's like our parents having a daughter that age.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It just wouldn't have worked. And no, Tony, it's not that we didn't like it. It's just it could have been better.
It should have been better.
The best scene was Derek Smalls coming out and admitting that he's the one that fucked.
Yes, that's pretty much the very end of the movie. It's pretty much the very end of the movie. Yeah, it probably was the best. Now, I will say there's great cameos by, I thought McCartney was great. I thought that part of it where St. Hubbins gets all indignant with Paul McCartney, I thought that was great. I thought Elton John was fantastic.
Elton John coming up from the stage.
Yes.
And the first word he says is Stonehenge.
Yes.
And goes right into it, man. Yes. Was incredible.
Correct.
Oh, my God. That was 100%. Fucking awesome.
Now, and also, him, I would tell you that from the concert to the end, which was like basically the last 10 minutes, was probably the best part of the movie for me. Now, here's what I also didn't like, and I thought about it as I was driving home. St. Hubbins really didn't sing in the concert because Nigel sang Hellhole, right? Which he never does in the original or on the albums. David always sang parts
I think that may be him singing that first verse.
I never saw it that way in the concert or that, but and then Elton John sang the entire Stonehenge. Yes. So to me, now to be fair, Michael McKean's getting close to 80 years old. Maybe he couldn't pull it off. I don't know. It is very hard to capture it. And here's the problem: if you're going to redo a movie like that, you kind of got to build on some of the storylines. Now, like Jeff said, I thought bringing the drummer, bringing the woman in to play drums, who's a fan of the drummers, and she has different drum sets based on them. I thought it was a great touch. It allowed them to bring that back. I thought bringing back Fran Drescher as Bobby Fleckman was pretty cool, although should have been a little bit more involved. I also thought Artie Fufkin showing back up was cool. So I think the cameos, for me, were the best part. I didn't understand the bad guy role in this. Like, what was that guy about? Like, I didn't understand.
He was just a dick.
Yeah, like in the first movie, that guy didn't exist. Like, why did the daughter had very little to do? She should have been more involved. Why was that guy involved? I didn't get it.
That daughter reminded me of somebody's autistic kid.
Yeah.
Was there, and they put headphones on her so she wouldn't bug out with the loud music.
Yeah. Now I thought
that was.
Now I would tell you the music end of it was pretty cool. Again, McCartney playing with the guys. They were playing. Just basically just in the studio, kind of jamming. I thought the music wasn't terrible. I thought the music was good. I thought the guys played well and sounded well. I thought all of that was good. The cameos were good, but the plot was weak. I thought there could have been a much better plot. It was only an hour and 23 minutes, which was a little disappointing also.
Yep.
I thought the ending could have been much better.
I think that one of them should have died.
Well,
that Stonehenge fell.
Well, I thought they all should have died. To me, that would have been the end. Like that, Stonehenge, a full Stonehenge falling on the guys, and killing them, and basically having their funeral would have been an apropos way you would have put the end on it.
When St. Hubbins apologized to Tufnell, to Nigel, and then when we were watching it and the Stonehenge fell on him, I said to him, I was like, one of them just died.
Yeah, that should have been. Yeah, absolutely right.
That's what I thought happened right then and there. I was like, one of them just got killed. And then when all of them are in a fucking hospital bed, that was kind of like some kind of like bullshit comedy, stupid ass Jim Carrey bullshit.
Yeah.
From The Mask or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I listen, guys. I would tell you, if you're a fan of Spinal Tap, you have to see it. There's a lot of references to the old movie. There's a lot of cameos. The music's pretty good. But I would tell you, as a big fan of the movie. Oh, my pops just showed up. I'll get him in a minute. As a big fan of the movie, the original. I was thrilled to go with Jeff. Now, we sat in the movie theater by ourselves, which
literally.
I think there were 4 people in the entire multiplex. One behind the counter. One guy was supposed to be taking tickets, and then me and Jeff. I don't think there was anybody.
There was a bunch of phones on charge.
Yes.
As soon as you walked in, like everybody that worked there looked like they had their phone there on charge. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? What the
where
fuck?"
Were they? I don't know where they was.
I don't know where they are, but I got it with Ed, man. You know what? Am I happy that I went to go see the movie? Of course.
Yes.
Would it have been great if we got to see the movie with some more of the other guys? It
Absolutely.
would have been awesome. I personally felt as though that I had to be there.
Absolutely. Yes.
Like that there. We were destined to go see that movie. We had to go see that movie.
Yes.
We said we were going to do it when it came out, and we were just a few days removed from its release date, which I think was September 12th. But I felt as though that we had to have gone and see that movie
100%
for a lot of different reasons.
100%. Yeah,
41 years ago, we sat through that movie for the first time, and here it is later. We're still here, and it would have been nice if some of the other guys could have made it also. But you know what?
Listen,
we've seen it, so
that's it. Listen, I wanted to see it. I said I would go see it in the movies. To be honest with you, would I've gone without you? No, probably not. Obviously, but I wanted to see it in the movie theater. I just thought it's one of those movies that it's nice to see in the movies because the music's such a big part of it. You get a bigger sound. I will watch it again to try to pick out some stuff that I probably missed during the movie. There were some funny lines. There was a couple of lines that were funny. But I think overall, it's not a good movie. I would tell you it's not a great movie.
What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 11, you got to make it a scale of 1 to 11. Sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry. You got to make it a scale.
No. I can see that. You're right. You're 100% right. On a scale of 1 to 11, what would you rate that?
I would give it for nostalgia, cameos, and music. Hard to give it, but I would give it a 7 out of 11.
Yeah.
How about you?
I just thinking of the whole overall the movie.
Yep.
And I think that if Ozzy had died last year and they were in the middle of making this movie, I think it would have given them a little bit more incentive to make a little bit of a better movie. But for what the movie meant to us and for the music that we liked and everything else, I got to go on 11. Have to go with it. Just a total 11 for a lot of different reasons. We were still there to go see it.
Yes, that's very true.
41 years later, we're sitting there watching it. I'm like you. I will watch it again somewhere down the line as soon as possible.
Yep.
And, listening to Elton John, another guy that's, singing Stonehenge.
Yes.
Would you believe that they had some decent songs, man?
Yeah, listen.
Stonehenge was a good song.
I would tell you that was one of the best parts of the movie was Elton John. I mean, his interview, him singing Stonehenge, the whole end of the movie. Again, I would like to see a little more of the concert. Again, there should have been a little more reference to the original movie. Again, if you're any sort of fan of the original Spinal Tap, see it because you'll get a kick out of it. But
it's definitely falls short on plot. They're missing parts everywhere, for as far as I'm concerned. But it's definitely a worthwhile, especially if you're watching it on your couch. So if it comes up on Netflix or Prime, if you get a chance to go see it in the theater, I suggest you do it because it's a really good experience in the movie theater. I mean, we were able to talk out loud. Nobody shushed us, that's for sure.
Yeah, I hear that.
But when I go again in the movies, if tomorrow the guys all called up, saying, all right, we screwed up, we want to go, I would go again.
Just so you know, the original Spinal Tap movie, 1 hour 22 minutes.
Was it that just that short?
Yep, 1 hour 22 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have guaranteed it was over 2 hours.
I would have thought the same thing, but 1 hour 22 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I would have thought for sure it was a much longer movie than that. Again, it was short. Again, I thought the plot was. It had a good chance for a good plot. Like, to me, most of the movie should have been about trying to get them all in the same place. That should have been the movie. Within the first 10 minutes, they're all living in a house. I thought people walking through on the ghost tour, I thought that was I thought, the first time was semi-funny. It was kind of Spinal Tap-ish. But then they did it 2 or 3 times. Like, it's enough. You give them the same gag over and over again.
Oh, it just so happens, like, to me, you know what I thought of that part? They were like, okay, there they are again. They're in the middle of trying to do something. There they are again.
Yeah.
And those guys didn't even pay attention to them being there. They were just like, it was like the table at the corner of the room. There they go again.
Yeah, and I also thought the original movie had such great moments where they were kind of just sitting around being interviewed by Marty DeBurgi, the whole shit sandwich and what happened. Even them in the car where they try to recapture going through the drummers that died. I thought that was a bad scene. Skippy, whatever his name, what they say, he sneezed himself to death. Like,
they definitely, without a doubt, pushed it till its limit. They tried to get what they could out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that they could have done a better job with that. But you want to know something overall? You got to look at the overall body of work. And, maybe these guys were like, one last time, this is something that we should have done 20 years ago. And
100%.
Here we are now. This is great. And, with all the bands that are retiring and leaving and due to a whole bunch of things, deaths and everything else, this movie was quite appropriate for its time.
I'm curious to see how much money it made on its opening weekend. I guess it can't be much.
So I don't even think they made enough money for the camera rental.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you guys, it was sad and funny at the same time. Walking in, and 2 minutes, we walked in literally as the previews were going on, and they were playing this movie to a bunch of chairs. I want to type it. Let me see how much it is. How much money?
Yeah, I think that when you bring that up about the movie theater, they definitely cost more money to run that movie the night we were there than they made for that movie. For that night, of course.
Wow. Spinal Tap 2 bombs with $1.5 million opening weekend.
Yeah. Why
Spinal Tap's $1.5 million debut signals trouble for the sequel? Wow. So it did $1 million. Wow. That's dude, that is. Did you guys share popcorn? That's not funny. No, we did not share any popcorn. I did not have popcorn in my lap. I did not take any popcorn from Jeff's lap. No.
Although I did make a hole in the bottom of mine.
Yeah. My wife gave me grief because she said, did you guys at least keep a seat between you? I said, no, they're big seats, and we were able to talk to each other. She said, oh, no, it looks funny if you guys sat next to each other. I said, no, it doesn't. With 2 guys in a movie theater.
Well, let me ask you something, Edie. Who was going to say anything? There was nobody there.
Yeah.
So where's your proof that we sat next to one another?
I don't even think there was a guy in the projection booth. I think he turned around and went home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable, right?
Spinal Tap 2 bombs with $1.5 million opening. Wow. I would tell you there will not be another Spinal Tap movie. That's for sure.
No, I don't see it. But you want to know something? Who's going to go see that movie?
Yeah, you're right. No,
movie at this point.
No,
it's
you're
definitely not going to be some young kid.
No.
We went to go see that movie. There's only one reason we went to go see that movie, and that's because we knew some of the guys from and they weren't even big names at that time yet on Saturday Night Live. And then there was also, it was about heavy metal when we went to heavy metal and Maiden and Priest and Metallica and all of this other shit. And that's pretty much the only reason that we went to go see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when we were talking about going to see it.
Yeah.
So, hey, listen, we went to go see it. I had a blast. I'm happy that I went to go see it. And that's that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think now that I think if you were Rob Reiner and you saw this opening weekend, they did leave it like kind of open at the end, like there might be another movie or another sequel. I would tell you that $1.5 million. This, and I would tell you, I think they did a bad job of, but a lot of people I told I was going to see the movie. Like, there's another movie. Like most people had no idea that the movie even existed again. So I think it was a bad job all the way around. And nobody goes to movies anyway. I mean, and who's going to go see Spinal Tap other than maybe they could have like 1 or 2 showings on a weekend, and I think that would have been enough. You would have got everybody who was interested in going.
They probably show it for fucking a week, 10 days or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll probably be on Netflix or something soon.
It didn't even have a movie poster in the movie theater with it. I want to take a picture of the movie poster.
That would have sucked.
I was so disappointed. There wasn't even that. So again, if you're a fan of the original, when it hits Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, see it. You'll get nostalgia, a little nostalgic for the original. It's worth the hour and a half to watch. I would tell you, paying for it probably wasn't worth it, and you can tell by $1.5 million around the country that this was not a big hyped movie out there. So anyway,
you could buy it. I just looked it up online.
Yeah,
Spinal Tap double-sided theatrical poster. One has it for $109 at on eBay. Another one has it for $39.
Okay, that's interesting. I would get it if it was signed by the band. I'm gonna try if I can see if I can find one that's signed by the band. That would be something I would love to hang in my man cave. But again, it would have been nice to take a picture, you and I, in front of the poster, having seen the movie. I have the tickets from it. So. But listen, 2 friends got to go see a movie that they saw the original 40-something years ago. We had a couple laughs. We got to hang out a little bit. It's completely worth it, and I will watch it again. And again, there are some good moments in it. Elton John, terrific. Music, terrific. Paul McCartney, but cameos.
I want to go real quick as far as the album goes.
Oh, which I was going to get.
Listen to I got the album. Listen to the Flower People was re-released with Spinal Tap and Elton John.
Okay.
Another song, Brighton Rock. Nigel's Poem opened up the album. Let's Just Rock Again was second. Then Listen to the Flower People 3. Brighton Rock 4. The Devil Just Not Getting Old 5. Cups and Cakes. Spinal Tap and Paul McCartney.
Oh yeah.
Kiss the Girl. Angels, Judge and Jury. Rockin' in the Urn.
Yeah, that was that crazy song that night that Derek was singing.
Yes.
With the Dave voice.
Blood to Let, and then it ended with Stonehenge, the Spinal Tap Elton John collaboration, which, man, wow.
Now they did have a couple of midgets in the Stonehenge thing, which was good because I was afraid they weren't going to do it. And Tony Gunn does play on 11. We all know that Tony Gunn has always been on 11, so we all know that. Again, guys. Again, all kidding around. See the movie. If you're a fan of the original, it's nostalgic. You see the guys. It's good music. But don't be afraid to be a little disappointed in the actual movie. So that's my take on it.
If you're disappointed, keep it to yourself.
Pretty much. So, but thanks for listening. It was a good experience, and I thank Jeff for taking the time to go with me. It was something we talked about for 2 years, and we pulled it off.
Yeah, I remember when we saw that movie was going to be playing, and we were like, we made a pact on this show that we would go see it again. We'd have to go see it, and we did.
Yes,
so
we did.
it was, good time was had by all.
Yep.
Our transition is to whatever it is you got to do next.
Yeah, go do your business.
A little rumbling. The Thursday Night Rumbles. We got to come up with a name for this. Either that, or I got to get a station inside and just broadcast from there.
I think that's going to be the old days. And again, Hard Rock and Sports. That's Jeff and Tom, and we're here every Thursday night, right through the till we get tired of doing it. So thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. I don't know what happened to my pops. He was there, but he's not there. So anyway, I think he tried to get on. He must have fell asleep and woke up. Anyway, Mets and Yankees. Listen, both teams. I have no idea what you're going to see. The Mets will make the playoffs. I think they got enough of a cushion to only a couple of games on the Reds and the Giants. They'll do enough to get to the playoffs. What happens in the playoffs, I don't know. I like these young kids, McLean, Tong, whatever his name is. They just don't hit enough. I got a couple of Met fans still here. Somebody asked me the other day, do I think Soto's had a disappointing season? And I said, yes. I know he hit 40 homers and he's got almost 100 RBIs and he stole a bunch of bases, but I just don't feel like he's had an impact. And I think what you saw this year from Soto, now maybe it'll be different this year, was that Soto is essentially a one-dimensional great player. He's a great hitter. He's an average at best fielder and not a great base runner, but a great hitter. But I don't think he's made any impact on the season for the Mets. There was a part of the season that Alonso carried the team. Lindor's carried the team. I never felt like he came up with a big spot and got that big hit to win a bunch of games this year for them. Again, a great hitter, and they had no choice. He's definitely lived up to the hype as a hitter. He just isn't that player. He's not Ohtani. He's not Judge. He's just not that guy right now. Maybe it'll be different a year or two from now. My dad just popped up. Let's get him on. I'm guessing he either forgot or. What's up, Pop? Would you fall asleep?
No. Comcast is doing work. And for 3 days, hi guys, my phone, everything's been out of whack.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But tonight I did fall asleep. So anybody that tells you the golden years, shit, ain't the golden years.
Yeah, hold on. Frank Catalano, you are so wrong. You can tell me what you want. The guy hit 40 homers. A guy got no problem. When was it time he came up and carried them for 10 games? When was the time he carried them for a month? He hasn't. He's a great hitter, and he's average everywhere else. He's an average player. And Tony Gunn, you're right. They don't deserve to make the playoffs the way they played. They're going to. They did enough in the first half. It's kind of like the Yankees every other year. They do just enough early in the beginning of the year that carries them through because they fall apart in the second half. They're playing better, but they're playing crappy players too. What's up, Pop? So what do you got? What's on your mind?
Oh, God, you ain't got enough time. Baseball is terrible.
Yeah.
I've never seen such bad baseball. Just don't cut off the cutoff man.
Yep.
They don't throw to the cutoff man. Guy gets caught leaning off the base. And I agree with you with Soto. The guy, if you want to have somebody for a DH, he's your man.
Yeah.
But it's like all they worry about is their offense.
No, listen, the guy lives for hitting. And Frank, yes, he's a good base runner. Okay, he's a decent outfielder. So you're telling me that you're happy with a guy who's a really good hitter, but did you pay $765 million for that player, or did you want to pay $765 million for the best player in baseball? That's the point.
Rephrase the question to him, Tom.
Yeah.
How about that? I understand the question you're asking, but are you happy, Frank Catalano? Are you happy with the money the Mets spent on Soto so far at this point in time. I understand it's year one of the contract.
Yep.
But if he produces this way for the remainder of his contract, are you happy with the money that they laid out on him? That's a better question, I think.
Yeah, maybe it's the better question. But the bottom line is, I got that he gets his numbers. I get it. But to me, I watch enough Met games. I pay attention to the newspapers. I read every day. It just doesn't seem to be the guy who is going to put you on his back. Now, we'll see in the playoffs. Maybe he gets into the playoffs and he becomes that guy. I would tell you, I wish the Yankees would have signed them. I had no problem if they did. I am just as happy that they didn't because we got Fried and Bellinger, and the Yankees are an okay team, but I would not have wanted to pay $765 million for a guy who, for most part of this year, has just been part of the wallpaper. And I'm sorry, Frank. I understand he plays every day. I understand, Frankie. You're just selling. He's a good base runner. He's a decent outfielder, and we paid him $765 million to be a decent outfielder. A guy who, for the first 2 months of the season, lollygagged it, didn't give an effort. People thought he was unhappy. I get it. I wouldn't, if I were the Mets, I would never change what they did. I'm just telling you, he is in year one. He has not lived up to the contract. That's 14 more years. Let's see how they play out. Yeah, Bob, I'm sorry.
No. I'm interested in what you're saying.
Yeah.
I have to agree. He's not anybody. I don't know whether it's him or could the team be that bad.
Well, I think
he doesn't help them.
I don't think
he helps the Yankees.
Yeah, no, I think when he is the second banana to a guy like Judge. Judge is a great player. He hits, he fields. He's a good base runner for his size. He's a 5-tool player and about to probably be a third-time MVP. Problem for Judge is he's got to do it in October once. Otherwise, he's going to have wasted his legacy. But that's a different story that we'll get to later. But Soto needs that guy. Soto needs a guy ahead of him who is going to be the guy, and then he can live off of that. He is right now, at this point, I have not been impressed with him watching him with the Yankees or watching him with the Mets. He's a good player, a really good player, and a great hitter. But you didn't pay $765 million for a really good player. You paid that. Yeah, you're right. Judge disappears. Judge is not overplayed. He's been healthy the last few years. Okay, he went through the stretch. The guy's about to be a 3-time MVP. Please don't put him in the same category as Juan Soto. It ain't even close. He's not even close to being the second that player. He's not even close. So you can't put him in. Don't compare him to Judge in any way, shape, or form. Judge disappears in October. That's my biggest knock on him. So, but Judge, from March to September,
Judge gets his teams into the playoffs.
He is the best player in baseball. You want to argue Ohtani? I'll let you argue Ohtani. But Judge shows up. He plays. He's hitting 50 homers a year. Let's not put Ohtani. Let's not put Soto in the same category as Judge. And Pop, you're right. He's a really good ball player. But for $765 million, I better get better than a really good ball player.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought so.
But you're right. I mean, there's too many. The Yankees make too many mistakes. I'm watching guys get picked off second base in a big spot.
Right.
They got one guy in the bullpen who's been lights out. This kid Bednar. The rest of them, I don't know. Again, they win. They will beat you to death hitting home runs. They will beat you to death, and then they will face a decent pitcher, and they can't score runs. So we'll see. I don't. It is terrible, Frank, that he disappears in October. I agree. It's the one knock on his legacy. It's part of something I'm going to ask Jeff. If Judge wins his third MVP, he's going to the Hall of Fame. But his legacy as a Yankee, he can't creep up into that top 5 or 6 until he wins a championship. Then
he's going to go to the Hall of Fame regardless, Judge.
Yeah,
because by today's standards, he's having an incredible career.
He's not going to go in the first round unless he's got that ring.
I disagree. I think he's still got another 3 or 4 solid years if he stays healthy, of course. I mean, he's already 360 homers. I mean,
The guy's at 300. He's already beaten DiMaggio. He's already passed Yogi. He's going to be 450 homers by the time he retires. So
he better be over 500 by the time he retires.
But that ring, there's certain things. 500 home runs.
No, I got
right?
but those things are gone, Dad. Those things don't matter anymore. That's the problem. They don't. Those milestones mean very little now. To me, he's a Hall of Famer now. I think he's done enough. If not, he's real close. I think his thing is, where will he be in Yankee lore? 40 years from now, when they're talking about 3 MVPs but no titles. Can you tell him? Can you say is he better than DiMaggio and Yogi? Is he in the conversation for top 4? He could be. He's that good. But the problem is you got to win some titles. And if they don't, even though it's a team sport.
That opens up the gate. If he wins the title, that opens up a gate for him. Then he's going to cruise right in. The other way,
he gets the title.
DiMaggio didn't get it on the first shot either.
Well, that's a whole different. Listen, nowadays, listen, I agree with you. And Mickey Mantle didn't get 100% of the votes. So I mean, somebody out there, had to stand.
Babe Ruth didn't get 100% of the votes.
Correct. So I mean,
you can't.
So I all I can tell you is, he's going to the Hall of Fame he is the best player in his era for 5 or 6 years now, and probably will be, barring a major injury, for the next couple of years. So Judge is going to the Hall of Fame when he gets out. First ballot, second ballot, won't matter. He's going in. If he could pop up a couple of championships, it'll make it easier. But then the conversation will creep into where does he fit in Yankee history. That will be the thing that championships would help him with. Right now, he's a great player in an era where guys don't hit 300. A lot of guys aren't hitting 50 homers a year. He's doing it, and by far he's the best player in baseball. But he's got to get a championship.
He'll never break the law. It's like the Mets could win 5 championships in a row. They still never get the.
Yeah, they're never going to be the Yankees.
That'll never get that, man. Those are some records that are just never going to come, never going to fall. Never.
Yeah, he's never going to get much. He's never going to get much Mount Rushmore. You got Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, and Mantle, and there's also, but that's the cream of the crop.
I agree with you, but
every year gets more and more.
But if he went out and won a couple of championships, you could have the argument. Not that I'm saying he belongs in there, but you could start to have the argument. Well, could Judge replace one of those guys? No, the answer is no. But you could have the argument, but without the championships, you can't argue it. To me, being a Yankee and being a Yankee all-time great comes with winning championships. That's what it comes with. That's just the standard.
Well, hopefully we'll see him with at least 2 championships.
Well, we'll see. I don't see it this year. Maybe next year when they get Gary Cole back. Hopefully they hold on to Bellinger. They made a couple more tweaks on that team. I hope they keep Grisham. I like Grisham's defense, and if he can hit 20 homers a year, he's hitting 30 right now, but that's a lot to ask. I fixed the bullpen a little bit with Cole back next year. I would like this team a lot going forward. I like this kid Rice. Do you like this kid Rice, Dad?
Yeah, I do like him. He's a good ball player.
Yeah, I would make him the everyday first baseman next year and a backup catcher. I think he's got a great bat, great attitude, and he gives you flexibility. He's not a great first baseman by any stretch, but I think you can leave him over there, let him learn the position. He'll get better. But he's got a good stick. And
how long did they sell Goldschmidt for?
I think Goldschmidt's a 1-year player.
I don't think you're going to see him next year.
No, I would doubt it. He had a great start to the season, and he's disappeared. So we'll see.
All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Finish up. So see you over the weekend. Jeff, take care.
Be good, Mr. Florio.
You take care. Say hello to your family.
I will.
All right, Pops. That's my dad. Checks in every week. And glad
glad he got on. He looks forward to coming on every week. Yeah. So anyway, let's run through a little bit of this weekend in football, Jeff. We'll go over some of the games from last week. Let's talk about some of the records where teams are right now.
Sure.
Yeah, Frank. You know what? I wouldn't disagree with that. I think the Mets would want to swoop in and grab. They're desperate for a center fielder. I mean, obviously Mullins has not worked out. So yeah, if the Mets were smart, I think that's a big play. Either one of those guys, if they're showing they can play in New York, with enough money, I'm sure you can get either one of those guys. I think either one of them would be an upgrade for your team in that spot. So yeah, I think that's definitely a great idea. That would be something if I were Cohen and Stearns, I would try to make happen. Let me bring up the NFL skill. Oh, you know what? Let's go to NFL.com. We'll do it right on the screen. See if there's some stuff that jump out at you for the last 15 minutes, Jeff.
Sure.
Let's see. NFL.com. Okay. And let's bring up, where is it? Schedule. Where are the standings, my man? Where are the standings? There they are. Okay, there we go. Let's bring that over here. Okay, Jeff, you ready?
Let's go.
All right, let's bring up the share screen. NFL division standings, share it, and here it is. Okay, Jeff, so let's go. Right now, 2-0 Buffalo Bills, 1-1 New England Patriots, 0-2 Jets and Dolphins. We spent a lot of time talking about this. Any surprise here for you so far?
Not in that division, definitely not. That's about what you figure at this time. But after 2 games, nothing surprises me.
Yeah, but no, and again,
that division is about where it should be.
I would, and I would hate to think what this is going to look like when they eliminate one more preseason game and add another one to the NFL, and when they add 2 more teams to this thing. The watered down talent and the lack of preseason, I think is right now has really hurt this league, Jeff. Really hurt this league.
Hard to disagree.
Yeah. Okay, AFC North, Cincinnati Bengals are 2-0, but really funky, and then now no Joe Burrow. Baltimore 1-1, Pittsburgh 1-1, Cleveland 0-2. Any surprising here for you?
Yeah, Cincinnati at 2-0. They better come out of the gate a little bit faster now with Burrow out, or their season's going to be over before September ends, I feel. Cleveland is about where they are, and listen, nobody really knows what Pittsburgh is. So right now, them being a 500 team makes total sense to me.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think Cincinnati's completely lucky. I mean, they played like crap against Cleveland and got snuck out with a win. And this past weekend against Jacksonville, I thought they were going to lose that game. They came back and they won it. Thank God, because I had them in my picks. So I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, I think they're in a world of trouble. Cincinnati. I mean, Burrow's out 3 months. So we'll see what they're able to do. Tough division.
He's out 3 months, and then he got to come back and get into football shape.
Correct.
So you're talking fucking maybe close to 4 months.
Well, and you're in January. I mean, October, November, December, January, 4 months. He's back. You better hope you're in the playoffs, and then he's got to come back and play playoff football after that. Yeah. So
it's going to affect a lot of key aspects of that team, man.
Yep. So here's one that's this is a very surprising division. First off, Indianapolis Colts at 2-0 after a huge win this past weekend against Denver. A huge win by Danny Dimes and the Colts, Jeff. Did I mention Danny Dimes and the Colts won in Denver?
Yeah, I'm surprised that this guy is doing what he did.
Yep.
Dable probably has a fucking voodoo doll of him.
Yeah, I think you said it earlier, and you may be right. I think what Daniel Jones is showing, and again, it's 2 games. It's no reason to, but what it's showing, it's possible that he's been screwed up by a series of very bad coaching and a lack of talent around him. I don't explain it when I watch him. When I watch the highlights of these games, I didn't get a chance to watch the games. He performs like he did a couple years ago when the Giants had a decent team and made the playoffs and snuck a win out of Minnesota. Is it sustainable? I don't know. That's a lot to ask. Jacksonville at 1-1. I don't know what Jacksonville is going to be.
Surprising in
Nobody
Houston.
knows what Jacksonville is. Even they don't know what they are.
Yeah, I think it's about time to pin the "he's a bust" label on Trevor Lawrence. I think it's that time.
You know what? If they haven't already, by the end of this year, I think that'll be the possibility.
Yeah, Houston at 0-2 surprises me. Tennessee 0-2 with a rookie quarterback. I didn't understand the whole thing. The Will Levis kid, he's a third-year player. He decides a couple days before the season to go get surgery and be out for the year. Cam Ward gets thrust into the spotlight. 0-2, not surprising. AFC West, little surprising here. Chargers have looked really good. Justin Herbert learned how to play quarterback, Jeff, all of a sudden.
Well, Justin Herbert and the Chargers, we've been listening to them that they're pretty good for the last how many years?
Oh, my God.
And they missed the playoffs, 2 of the last 3 years? Last 3 years, whatever it is. They haven't been the team that everybody says they were, that's for sure.
Yeah, Raiders at 1-1, Broncos at 1-1. Not sure what either team is going to be yet. Geno Smith-led Raiders looked terrible on Monday night versus the Vikings in that loss. Denver should probably be 2-0, if not for a very dumb penalty, would be 2-0 and challenging in the division. So I think there's an upside to the Broncos right now. But we'll see how they respond after that. The Chiefs 0-2, they look old. They look like a team that just lost the Super Bowl, getting crushed last year. This might be one of those situations where Kansas City might need to decide, do they want to rebuild, and do they want to do that rebuild with Andy Reid at a 60-something, almost 70-year-old coach? I think that might be the case for Kansas City if they continue the way they're playing, Jeff, because I've watched both of their games, and they just look bad.
Well, they look bad in the Super Bowl against the Eagles.
And they really didn't look great last year. I thought Mahomes put them on his back in the playoffs, and yes, you're right. They look terrible in the Super Bowl, and I think what you're seeing is a team that needs to start all over. And the question is, if you were the Chiefs, Reid's a good coach, Reid has had success with Mahomes, and would you break it down? If let's say they wound up with missing the playoffs, they won 6 games, blah blah blah. Do you rebuild with Andy Reid as your coach if you're the owner?
I would rebuild with Andy Reid as the coach before I rebuild with somebody like Travis Kelce as the tight end.
I would agree. You could see this is his last year. He looks like a guy who is spent too many times at a Taylor Swift concert.
Well, gee.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, let's move over to the NFC. I don't think there's a lot to me early on. No surprises here. Philly, class of the division. I have not been impressed with Washington in their win over the Giants, and certainly in their loss this week. I know Jaden Daniels is out, I think, this week, or hasn't practiced and might not play. I think the Cowboys are lucky they played the Giants. They could easily be 0-2 right now. And I think that Jerry's team's in for a very ugly season, and I don't know what to do with the Giants yet. What's your take on the NFC East?
It's early. That's a division that I don't think there's anybody solid in there except for Philly. Washington, I think, is overhyped.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's going to show this year. But, let's see what happens with the Giants. I don't see them as a Super Bowl contender or even a playoff team. But I'm sure that they're going to get a little bit better. But let's see what a couple more weeks brings.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a drastic change, Tom.
No, I think you're going to basically see this configuration through the season. I think that you'll see Philly, the best team in the division. Cowboys and the Redskins will fight it out. There'll be mediocre teams, and the Giants will be pulling up the rear for most of the season. So I agree with you. I think you're going to see what you see. NFC North, the Packers have looked like the best team in the division. Minnesota has not. And now their quarterback is out for 3 or 4 weeks with an ankle sprain. Detroit gave the Bears a pounding. Their former offensive coordinator, now the head coach of the Bears, got beat, I think it was 52-9. And the Bears are the same old Bears at this point.
Yeah, I don't ever see the Bears. The Bears are like the Jets, man. They're like the Jets Midwest. There's just teams that are just never going to do anything.
Yeah, I don't know what you do to fix these teams sometimes. Like, I don't know if maybe you're right in the kind of teams get into like this rut and they can't get themselves out of it. You know what I mean? The Bears have been stuck in we can't find a quarterback coach
since Sid Luckman.
Yeah, since George Hallis, and the sneaker gate. The Lions have not looked great. Again, they had a big win this week, a tough loss to the Eagles. Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
No, it wasn't the Eagles. They lost to somebody. No, it was the Packers. So that again, I don't know what to expect from Detroit at this point. I think we'll see it by the end of September. We'll start to see things rounding out and who's what. Surprising team. I watched Tampa Bay. I got to tell you, Baker Mayfield has creeped up into the conversation of top 5 quarterbacks in this league. That guy can throw the football. He comes up in big spots, and he's a tough bastard.
Is it that it's because he's good, or because some of the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFL just aren't that good?
I think it's both. I think it's
and not for nothing. He's in a division where they should be. They are the best team in that.
Oh
division.
yeah, no. I think I think they'll easily be the best team. But he's thrown the most touchdowns in the league the last 3 years. He's played really well. He's comes up big in big spots. He doesn't make the bonehead play anymore. I don't know if you win the Super Bowl with the guy, but I would tell you he's definitely creeped up into that conversation. And yes, you're right. It's the lack of great quarterbacks versus he's gotten better. So I don't know which one it is.
Well, let's see what he could do. Let's see if he can sustain it over the course of the season.
Yeah.
Let's see if he could. You can rely on him when his team needs him, and when he's called upon, if he could do what he needs to do, and those questions will be answered later on in the season. You'd like to think.
Yeah, I mean Atlanta. I mean they're stuck in kind of purgatory right now. New Orleans needs a quarterback. They should be ringing up either Atlanta or the Giants, or maybe I don't know, somebody for a quarterback. They just in purgatory right now. And the Panthers, there was a whole big talk about Bryce Young taking the next step, and they just look like the Panthers. Maybe they should call Cam Newton, try to get him with his fucking crazy hats and come back. I don't know. Yeah, I mean Tampa. You're right in the book. Tampa's winning that division. I can't see anybody else even competing at this point. And finally, another weird division. 49ers decimated by injuries. Purdy's out, but they're 2-0. Cardinals, I'm 2-0. The Rams are 2-0, and Sam Darnold at 1-1. This might be the best division in football. It might be. It's hard. It's hard to.
I don't know about that. I think what you got maybe there is the luckiest division in football right now.
Yeah,
3 teams. You're talking 7 wins between 4 teams after 2 weeks. That's a lot. There's really no other division that's like that right now.
Nope.
And
nope.
Listen, once Sam Darnold, I'm pretty confident that he's going to find the ground that quickly.
Well, I mean, he did.
This out.
I agree, but he did take it to week 15 or 16 last year before the balloon popped and he landed on the ground. So
yeah, but what's that saying? Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, I get it, and I'm not a huge fan of the guy. I think though that is right now it's probably the class. I mean, they might be the best division. Frisco, they're all decent teams at the moment. You go to the rest of the other divisions, there's nobody under 500. Again, it's only 2 games in, so I'm going easy. But so again, the major for me, no major surprise that the NFL, as we look right now, looks like a bad preseason game. Most games, too many penalties, too many bonehead decisions, too many bonehead plays. So let's hope as the month goes on and we get to October, we'll start to see some really good football, and what we'll start to see is who the better teams are, and some of the also-rans will start to disappear, and we'll get a better sense of who the teams are. But you're already out. Joe Burrow's out for basically the year. We've had a lot of guys hurt. Jay Daniels is hurt. Justin Fields is hurt.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that are.
But I would say, if you ask me right now, what last thing for me on the chef? For me, the biggest surprise so far of the season is the Indianapolis Colts and Daniel Jones. It really is. As a fun story, nobody thought the Colts were going to be any good, and they may not be good. They may turn into, the also-rans they are every year. But for them to be 2-0 and him to have played as well as he has, I think they punted for the first time in like the fourth quarter.
Jesus Christ.
Sunday. I mean, they've scored just about every single drive. They haven't committed a turnover. Obviously, it's not sustainable, but they may be the surprise of the NFL so far, and maybe the best feel-good story. He gets run out of New York, gets lucky to land in Minnesota, leaves, goes to Indianapolis, to a team that had a quarterback already, gets the job, and they're 2-0. So to me,
I don't see him. Keeping up this torrid pace.
No. Again, I would be shocked.
Yeah,
but
I don't agree with that.
But I think that's the biggest story, and I think the other story is the Cincinnati Bengals. They're 2-0. They look like crap. They've played two bad teams. Lucky to get by both of those teams, and now their quarterback is out for basically the season. I think that's another story that you go, the same old Bengals. Let's see how they survive now. I think that's the two stories that I take out of the first couple of weeks.
The Bengals are one of those teams that, if you remember, for years they were horrible.
Yeah, sure.
And they just, they every year is like somehow like they either win 8 games in a row or they lose 8 in a row. There's no in between.
Nope, there is not. So again, we'll see how they take off from this week on. I'm curious to see, but a lot of great NFL this week. Tonight, I don't know what the score of the game is, but the Dolphins and the Bills are on. I got a couple bets in on it, thanks to the Guru. This weekend, Jets-Giants. Jets, I think, a 1 o'clock game, and the Giants are the 8:20 game. Looking forward to all of that, and I'm looking forward to being back here next week here with you guys, with me and Jeff. And thank you for putting up with our Spinal Tap movie review. That was something that was a lot of fun. And, Jeff, thank you. By the way, why weren't you on headset last night? Why couldn't I talk to you while I was kicking the crap out?
I didn't get a chance to hook the headset up yet. Okay. I didn't play much this week, so I'm hoping to get the headset up this weekend.
And you couldn't talk to the.
No, I tried to put it on. Of course, I would have.
Yeah, because usually we're bullshitting through the whole thing. Yeah. I was like, where is it?
And no, I would. Every time that I went to go put it on, another screen came on the PS5.
Yeah.
So when you go to hook this headset up,
yep.
Saying I just hook it up to the back of the PS5.
Just plug the thumb drive into the back of the thing, and it does it all itself. When I turn it on, it automatically clips on. It automatically catches on. I didn't have to do a blessed thing.
And then you have to. Is it wireless?
It's wireless, yeah.
So how do you charge it?
Well, you can. There's a plug. It comes with a wire. You can plug into like a regular box, and you charge it up. But yeah, I mean, other than that. Once you do it, you unplug it, you push the power button on, and it automatically catches.
How long does it take to hook up onto the machine? To PS5?
10 seconds. The minute the game's on and you turn that on, you're automatically catching. You're listening to the whole thing through your headset.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so give it a shot. If you have a problem, let me know. But it was fun playing last night. Gonna do a little bit more. And we're going to figure out the schedule. I got to put the schedule out for the league.
Justin Fields is awful, man. Even in my season,
wow,
he's awful. He got like 22 fucking interceptions.
Yeah, I have had bad luck with Russell Wilson in the game. I've been going to dart, and last night I was going to make the change. I said, let me give it a shot, and I actually worse than your.
I think he's calling you out, man.
Well, first of all, my Spinal Tap review is on the money. Danny Dimes is 2-0, beat the crap out of your team, so you can't say shit. And Soto, I'm dead spot on. Soto is a great hitter and an average ball player. He's above. He's a really, really good player. He is not a great player. You could say he's a great hitter. He is not a great ball player. He's not. So. You can say anything you want, Frank. You can get insulted by it. I'm giving you my personal opinion. I still think it was a great move by the Mets. I think in the long run, this will work out for them. I'm sure they're making money off the guy by people showing up. And if the Mets can get another player who's a star, who's a really great player, Soto will absolutely make that guy better and himself better. But if Soto's your best player, he's a really good player. That's all. Yeah, he's 40 for 40, and you might not make the playoffs. He's 40 for 40, got it, and he might not make the playoffs. So he's not an impact player. That's all I'm saying. He's not. No, not insulted, just laughing. I could care less as a Yankee fan. I have a better player. I'll tell you, he, as an all-around player, I like Bellinger. The guy hustles. He's a great defender. He's got a good stick. Yeah, he's not going 40 for 40. He's not, what's Soto hitting? 280, 270? Is he hitting 300? So you paid $765 for a guy who doesn't hit 300? I don't know. And
he has come to life, man.
Listen, again, he's a great hitter. A guy hits 40 homers. He's got a great stick. There's no doubt about it. I'd be happy to have him as a Yankee again. But he's not a great ball player. I'm sorry. He's just not. So, again, yeah. If he, to me, Juan Soto, you want to get into the great category as a great ball player, hit 320, 40 homers, 30 stolen bases, I'll give the guy a little more credit. He's an average outfielder and an average base runner. And he strikes out too much for a guy who's as good a hitter as he is. So, and again, he has not been the guy who wins you 7 games in 15 games. He's not that guy. He's just not. He gets his hits. He's not an impactful player. He's a great second banana. Great second banana. He's just not. You need Alonso or Lindor to carry and him be the guy behind it. And I don't know if you got it this year. We'll see. And yes, he may play great in the playoffs. I don't discount the Mets in the playoffs. I think they got some good arms, but there's a lot of lacking over there. I think the Phillies are better than anybody. I think the Brewers are a great team. What remains to be seen if the Mets are. We'll see. But let's wrap it up, Jeff. I want to go watch a little football, and I got to get ready for work. You working tomorrow?
No, I'm off tomorrow. Thank God.
Good for you. Are you playing today? You playing Frank Jeffrey tomorrow?
We might play later. I don't know what's going to happen.
I guess it depends on the score of the Dolphin game. If it's close,
let's see. I can tell you, maybe get a better idea of what's going on right now.
What's the score of the game?
I don't know. 14-7 Buffalo, 8:28 left in the second quarter.
Okay.
See you later, Frank Catalano.
Frank Catalano, have a great night, brother.
We will find out if he plays or not.
All right. Well, like I said, I'll be paying attention. Again, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. We really do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing it next Thursday night with you guys and with Jeff all over again. So, for everybody here at Hard Rocket Sports, we thank you for tuning in tonight. We hope you have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, a great next week. And we hope you come back next Thursday night and do it all over again with us. So for Jeff, myself, and all of us here at Hard Rocket Sports, have a great night, and we'll see you next Thursday night. Hefe, I'll talk to you off the air.
Later, man.
Later.
Bye.